Coming up on Coffee and Beans.
So I took a sip and I'm like, this doesn't taste like anything I'm familiar with. And he's like, yeah, no, it's a mix of, I've forgotten what he said. And I was like, oh, okay.
So pure tequila?
Tequila.
Sorry, but that tastes like kerosene. I do want to give a shout out to any ladies or gents who, shave before going to have that closure conversation. Listen, it's totally fine. Your process is your process. I really just thought just now, I'm just like, there must be someone just feeling highly misrepresented. Listen.
I don't think I've ever been around you when you were going through like a breakup of any sort. If I have, you have a way about yourself. You carry yourself well, sir.
I'm in the world.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by our mystery sponsor, a product that is so good that they're paying us to keep anyone from associating it with this program.
What up? This is your favorite squad, your favorite people. Beans and
Coffee.
Yes, that's right. We swapped last time and we never swapped back. So this is what we're doing.
Welcome to the show.
Oh yes, there's that. Welcome to the show.
We're about to dive right in.
Kinda.
Just like, hey, how you doing? Was that about to... So what did you have for lunch?
Pretty much. Hi Beans, how are you? I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. Alive and thriving. How's your week been?
Very long.
Yeah, that was a high five. That's just yes.
Oh, what a month this week has been.
Oh, what a year this week has been.
October as well.
No, October has been okay. I feel like I had a good time in the beginning.
No, I mean, so did I, honestly. I'm not even talking about the weather. I'm not leaning back into that. It's just this month has taken 8
a while
months to finish.
I would say this week. I don't know about the month. I feel like it was like week 1, week 2, because I remember as we were going into the 3rd week of October, I was just like, already. And then it's like this week, it's almost like it takatad. It was like you complained. So I'm gonna slow down. And then it felt like so many things were happening at the same time and I just couldn't mentally, there's a word I'm looking for, mentally hold it together.
Well, I'm glad for whatever form of shape that is currently here before us.
Yeah.
To anyone out there, hope your monthly targets, physical, personal, financial, or otherwise have been fulfilled. We're kind of going close into the rain season.
Yeah, it was drizzling this morning. I don't know about where you were at.
I feel like I'm in Lusaka, with the land of sin. I don't know when we're going to expect rain.
Oh, so
that's even
okay. So
I don't know which part of the world you people are in.
Apparently, where the good people reside, because it drizzled this morning. There was even a little stretch when I was on my way to work that had it looked like it rained.
Oh yeah.
So sinners.
I'm sorry. I need to move or seek redemption? Much to be discussed.
Seek redemption, just cleanse, I don't know, incense and all that stuff. But yeah, highlight of the week.
For me, wow. I have a low light of the week and I feel really badly that's the only thing that is coming to my mind. Highlight of the week, something.
Okay, let's do low light and then let's do highlight.
Okay, low light was end of month can be a bit hectic in some of the places that I spend my work days at. That is a very vague sentence I have just said. But it can be a bit hectic. But so it does take quite a little bit out of me.
Mm-hmm.
Highlight was possibly a very impromptu, the precarious nature of life in Lusaka, life in your youth, I suppose, is you go outside your yard to buy airtime and you end up in Samfia.
I don't know what life this is, but that never happened to me. I wish it would. But end up in Samfia because you... San Francisco!
That's my favorite thing that I've ever said in my life. San Francisco.
I saw that,
I'm so proud.
and I was supposed to like, I don't know this. I was supposed to take a screenshot and send it to you, but
so
like,
no, but generally,
San Francisco.
something random happened. I ended up going out and met with some really good friends that I hadn't seen in a very long time. Another really good friend of mine has, as we call it in our culture, taken plates, which if you, I don't know if you know about our culture, but Zambian culture, technically it's basically the,
That's the traditional proposal.
yeah. And it's very,
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's the preemptive, basically it's the reception.
It's the first step in the marriage process. So the groom and his family, normally his male elders, are there usually women there as well?
So there's like a shibukombe. Are we gonna go into? I mean, I wish, I'm a little. Okay. So there's
A lot went through your mind just then.
So he has a shibukombe, which I like to put a BAE at the end of because it zests it up. So shibukombe and one or two other members of the family, I think, go to the family of the woman who he hopes to marry.
And basically tell them, we have seen a flower in your garden. Our son has identified a flower in your garden, and we're here to, do the things to make sure that these flowers end up together.
Yeah, so he did that yesterday, and I met him. I got to see him a little bit, and we haven't seen each other in a while, and it's very heartwarming to sort of see your friends who used to do really stupid and or occasionally illegal things with kind of grow into big men who become husbands and fathers. So yeah, it's really, really cool. Also, I very much expect you, every time you post something like that on your WhatsApp, it's always a mommy or an auntie who's like,
of course, as usual.
To which you respond, the signal is bad, I can't hear in this room.
This is one of the reasons many of you, my aunties, are blocked from viewing my stories. Yeah, yes.
Your low light and your highlight.
I think mine is kind of like a 2-in-1. So I moved this week.
Okay.
Wait. Yeah, I moved this week. And the great part is that it's like new space, new beginning, kind of like fresh start. No one knows where I live. I love that bit. That's like my favorite. Like, no one knows where I live.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm enjoying that so much.
I'm concerned. Do you owe people money?
No, it's just when plenty people get to know, like start getting familiar with where you live, it kind of feels like they just kind of invite themselves. And I'm the call before you come type person. Like, don't just show up. So I don't like when people just show up. Some people are you're welcome. Doesn't even matter whether you call or not. But it's nice if you call. What if I have a man that I haven't dispatched yet? Used to say.
This is a PSA. Call Kofi before you go to her house. She's saying ever so politely. I don't know. Maybe this is why people show up. You're so polite about it. I just release the dogs and be like, hey, my G.
Are you serious?
No, I'm not.
Don't go to Beans' house without like just. Yeah, I want to get a doormat that says, did you call first?
Bye.
I'm gonna get that done. But then at the same time, it's like, I don't know what the attachment is sometimes to where you've lived, right? It's like ending a relationship. It's just like, I'm moving, yay, but like, oh, I'm gonna miss this space.
I grew up over there once.
I remember being dragged into the house hungover. Actually, no, drunk. Yeah, which actually a few of those memories existed.
That's true, yeah. But new beginnings, yay.
New beginnings, yay for me. But I think it's more a highlight than a low light. So, yeah, that was yeah.
About it.
Yeah. But also low light. The long was weak. The week was long. It was long.
Felt everywhere.
Still feels like it's still continuing. But, we move.
Goodbye, October.
Goodbye, October. That makes me sad, actually.
Oh, wow.
Anyway.
I'm
sad about October finishing. Who gives a
Okay.
rat's behind about the rest of the months? October. Okay. October is a happy month. But yes. So, because of this same moving and it felt like a relationship was ending type thing, I had a thought. How do you deal with, especially romantic relationships ending. I think we're gonna touch on the others, but like let's kick it off with like romantic relationships, the end of romantic relationships.
Oh wow, I love the journey of from you moving.
No, because I don't know. It just felt like I felt like I was leaving a lover I loved.
That's fair. That's fair. That is
Yeah.
How do I? What's the question? How do I?
How do you deal? What is the
What's my
phases
process?
do you go through?
Well, it depends what version of me is being engaged.
How many versions of you exist?
I don't even know sometimes. When healthy, much to unpack just.
This is a safe space.
It's the same thing.
We don't judge.
So
Well,
great.
we do a little bit.
Honestly, I really enjoy places where I pray for grace a lot in my life.
Something I should probably do the
I
same.
do. I think
for.
it's the most
Yeah.
important, one of the most important things, especially in interaction. I don't know if y'all have clocked it yet. I'm very much quite the extrovert, and
I think we've
I
clocked
think
it.
you've seen that. And I think being programmed that way, you speak very openly and occasionally with haste and like a no chill. And that is not always very ideal if emotions are mixed in with that. That is not a good cocktail. So how I like to deal with the end of a relationship that is romantic. If I've been bad, I apologize. I do believe.
When you say if you've been
If
bad,
I've been bad.
like bad in the relationship.
If I'm trying to clock if I've been the main reason for the ending, and also you've put it with romantic relationships. A lot of my friendships feel like little marriages.
Yeah.
As in my friendships feel like little marriages. So even as you asked that was what came into my head, because romantic relationships, I don't know. I'm generally a pretty polite person. I run a very transparent shop, I like to say. A lot of the things that I think people tend to grapple with, infidelity, dishonest, I don't really. It takes too much to remember to lie. So like that's my relationship with the truth. And I think that's generally communication and like dishonest is the big issue.
Fair.
A lot. So I don't really
Fair.
For romantic I can't go on that. I'm so sorry. Maybe, a younger version of me. But in my friendships, when things go messy or whatever, you try to handle things with respect for what made you people come together to begin with. There was a movie called The Marriage Story that is about a couple going through a divorce, and in the mediation between there was the mediator, preemptive before the divorce proceedings started. He told both people in the couple, said, write down the things that you initially loved about each other that brought you together, and they both said really poignant, really beautiful things about the other. And I think when you come to like the twilight of whatever relationship this is, if it's romantic, if it's platonic, whatever this is, you kind of want to give a bit of or just pay homage to what initially brought the two of you together. However, we're just like bags of flesh and water and hair, so it makes sense that a lot of messed up things happen that lead to the disintegration of these things. So if you hear on Facebook that
Why Facebook?
because Facebook is where the bad story, that those stories that are specific. Facebook is
It's
not
just
all
like,
those.
yeah.
It's just adult patron throws fan brick through moving vehicle on Addis Ababa Drive. If those things happen, look, I'm not above that. I'm not above that. I'm not always a peace monger. Like, look, guy, but that's usually I like to try and keep a little grace about me. I really do.
Okay.
I don't always.
I don't think I've ever like been around you when you were going through like a breakup of any sort. And if I have, please point that out.
Oh, really?
I don't think I ever have. If I have, you have a way about yourself. You carry yourself well, sir.
I'm in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm an adult. Nobody needs to know that, you know, there's
no, but you know how
you
you know how sometimes someone's just like there's a little imbalance in the way that you're accustomed to knowing them. Yeah.
We've known each other a while. I've definitely been in breakups when we're together, for sure.
Yeah,
Like,
hey?
I definitely
Either I'm just not a very attentive friend.
No, you are.
Or
I mean, I don't hide. I just feel like, you know, if you're at the groove, you know, sometimes you meet like a moody person at the gym. I'm like, Papa.
listen, don't attack me. Don't attack me. Don't attack me.
Why?
Sometimes the feelings just don't want to go away. It's like I came out to forget. But no.
There's a Celine Dion album at home. You could die.
Adele.
Yeah, she just dropped. She dropped this. It's cool. Go figure that. Like, you don't need to be bumming out. Niggas is frowning in the club, just upset at being shouted.
Oh my lord. Okay.
Hit back at you.
Hit back.
Process. You said you set it off with romantic relations.
I started because I felt like that's the easiest one to like get off first.
I feel like also I do need to mention this is bad branding. My romance situation, I don't know. And yeah, so maybe for you and especially, I hope this isn't in poor taste to gender it, but like as a woman, I feel like you are a wider spectrum of feeling people. Men have a lot of emotions as well, but I always feel like women have a greater depth to them in how they feel things. So I do appreciate how you brought out romance, and I was just the wrong person to flagship that too. It was 100% that.
Coffee and Beans will return after the break.
Northern Tool and Equipment.
My girlfriend has given me a pet name,
I'm afraid to ask.
Snuggle Muffin,
No, it isn't.
and she uses it in public.
Okay, so give your girlfriend a pet name she'll hate, like Thunder Chunky.
I couldn't do that.
I see. Too harsh for Snuggle Muffin. Okay. Drown her out with a 200-mile-per-hour cordless leaf blower.
Got it. Here she comes.
Hey, Snuggle What are you doing, Snuggle? Snuggle! I am so out of here.
Wait! Come back, Thunder Chunky!
There's no problem a little horsepower can't solve. Northern Tool and Equipment.
Welcome back to Coffee and Beans.
How do you process the ending?
Normally depends. I remember in high school. Okay, you know I'm always saying high school relationships don't count because truly do they? But like there was this one where I felt like a weight had been lifted off me. Haven't I mentioned this before? I think I have. But it was like a very joyous occasion for me. That was one. So it depends on the dynamics of the relationship. I mean, it wasn't a bad relationship, but just like I guess it didn't really contribute much value to my life.
Could I interrupt?
Sure.
Is this the gentleman? Was there a telescope involved?
No, not that. Oh, that one took me apart.
Give me a second. There was the one who you fake cried through?
That's the one.
Okay.
I feel like I tell you too much.
You did this on the show.
I did?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, yeah. This is probably why I felt like...
If you're a dedicated listener, you know what episode I don't remember. But like...
Neither do I.
Okay.
But then if I was like hella invested, there's usually like a back and forth in the beginning, right? It's just like, okay, this relationship has ended. It's done. Move on. And then there's that 90% of my body, my soul, my mind are just like, but no, why? We were perfect together. Usually we weren't, but you know. We were perfect together. And then it takes like a month or two to get those feelings out and get to a point of like, but you know, this makes sense. Like the breakup makes sense. Like let's just sit in this and move on because I'm actually, if you think about it, this is actually better. And then after that phase, there comes like a feeling like a bad bitch face. It's just like, in your face. We done. We da 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 da. And that's just like a very simplistic breakdown of the phases. Obviously, there's many little, very nuanced spaces within that, but generally, I feel like, and I've noticed this with people that I truly do care about, in the 2 adult relationships that I've been in. Yeah.
You mentioned the bad bitch level, and that just threw me to a rather, slightly, it's not that well known by a very unknown artist, Beyonce.
I think I know. She used to be in like a group. They were like 4 women.
Yeah, I don't know.
From like
they've had moderate success.
Yeah.
It's called Lemonade. And so I just thought this. I was very curious. I just ran this up, the chapters of it, which is intuition, denial, anger, apathy.
Basically,
accountability, reformation, forgiveness, resurrection, hope, redemption. Have you clocked what your patterns are in the end of things?
And I'm not, this is obviously, I'm still at my big age, I'm still learning myself. But I feel like normally it starts out with like anger, but not like a violent, loud anger. It's like this anger, sadness mix. That's very draining. Because most times at the very beginning there's this self-blame, thinking that something I did must have been me, right? Which I don't know whether that's a Libra thing or like, I don't know, but yeah, something that I did, it's me. And then there comes a stage where it's kind of like I sit myself down and I'm like, look, you should be serious. You're a bad, you are smart, you are beautiful, you are hardworking, you are yada yada yada. We list all these things, and then it's like acceptance now. It's just like, okay, it's ended. And then after the acceptance, it's kind of like it's like taking the relationship apart. Like, okay, why was I so attached to this? Da 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 da. And this is where learning the lessons also comes in, where you separate the ill feeling, no matter what that may be, especially in relation to the person you were in relationship with, from the things that you can take away from it. But then at the same time, within that space, there's but he also did this, but he was also this person. And based off of that, to build up into that bad bitch phase, where it's just like, oh, that's it! Me! I cried over you! Me! And then this is obviously also where the besties hype you up. They're just like, yes! And they want to take you out and put all the liquor in you. But yeah, and then there's like a mellowing out after that. I think that's like a very general, yeah.
Disclosure important to
you? It's funny because I was going to ask this to you. My question was going to be, do you think closure is real?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
I like a conclusive experience, occasionally to my detriment. Sometimes, yeah,
I feel like most people to their detriment.
Sometimes I should just leave things leave things alone.
Sometimes it's healthier to just walk away.
That's honestly
like,
not everything needs a part two, because sometimes that is what that is.
Yeah.
Is when you engage with something a little longer than you should.
Yeah.
Then you're giving it a part two.
You're giving it the time and the space to just like sit a little longer within there.
In your head, possibly, you're like, no, but the movie hasn't finished. But really, sometimes that's where it should be. But I genuinely do like a conclusive, because I really don't like wondering. I have not a lot, but the few things that I feel an anchor in my spleen about, of regret about, are usually things I haven't done, or things that I wasn't brave enough to see through, or I felt, maybe I just was overrun by ego or something of that kind, and I didn't totally go there. Especially just coming from, the anxiety ridden child that I worked very hard to grow out of being. So I think part of that also comes in. It's a weird, awkward mix because you're also a slave to your flesh in some ways because you're just like you just don't push a certain way because you're just like maybe you lose cool points or whatever it is, that my late teens and early 20s diseased me with. But so sometimes I do want to push things and sort of thing, but I also do believe in closure because depending on, again, this is not to say if it's romantic or sometimes if it's bad, it's okay to just dip there. But usually, especially for me, in my little marriages, my occasional friendships are not very many, but when you have acres of context and experience and shared love, you sort of, it's out of respect that to come and have a closing ceremony, an epilogue before
and the national anthem.
And the national anthem. Before the bars come on the screen, transmission closes. I like to do that.
Okay.
If there's range for a healthy thing to happen there. If it's bad, I'm dipping.
Okay.
I'm dipping.
As we dip, exactly.
I need to, we featured the bit. If I just see, sometimes you can see. You're like,
Sometimes you can see. You definitely, most definitely. Okay. I don't know. I feel like.
Could I preempt you a little bit?
Sure.
Closure. An active process of closing something, especially an institution, through fair or frontier or of being closed. Closure in the legislative assembly, the procedure of ending a debate, which is not what we're talking about. And basically, legislative assembly again, but this is also very important to me. Just them saying another version of closure is a wig, which I didn't know.
You did.
I was not aware.
The frontal, the little closure, the little.
Are those the ones like on the?
I believe.
To see the little netting on the forehead. By the way.
I don't know.
Are we supposed to?
I don't think so.
Guys.
I think that's why they're bleached to match your skin.
Oh, they bleach the wig?
The base of the wig.
They bleach your scalp?
The base of the wig. So the netting itself usually is bleached to match it. Exactly.
Oh, that's crazy.
So I'm assuming no. I've never worn a wig.
Oh, really?
No.
Okay.
So yeah, I will look that up for you later on. Okay, I'm gonna ask my bad bands and I'm gonna get back to you. Closure for me. Like, first of all, I used to. Most of the times you will catch me saying closure is a myth. But I feel like that's because a lot of us go into the closure conversation wanting to hear certain things. It's like we want this other person to say specific things to us that we feel like will make us feel better and make it easier for us to let go and move on. But that rarely ever happens. Like, if anything, you'll probably come out of that conversation with either a few more questions or angry, So it's very difficult. It's also dependent on actually the other person. If you're in a relationship with a very toxic human being, you're probably coming out of that conversation angry. Hella angry, which will just create other issues from then on. So I think number one, first know your person before you even attempt a closure ceremony. Other than that, I feel like I don't think it's entirely necessary to have a conversation after you have had the breakup conversation. Because I feel like within the breakup conversation, if you are thorough, you would have gone through the I love you, but this isn't working. And this is why this isn't working. Which is like, after that, what other conversation is necessary? I don't know.
Coffee and Beans will return after the break.
Sir, I'm a little uncomfortable with the way we've been having our Monday morning meetings.
A little uncomfortable?
Well, extremely uncomfortable with meeting in your bathroom, sir, while you're in the tub.
Well, I'm wearing a tie.
I can see that, sir.
Over the weekends, I play ball with the kids, do yard work, and play tennis, so by Monday, my muscles are very sore. Spending all day in a hot tub's the only thing that helps.
Have you tried?
Wrapping myself in cabbage leaves? Yes, I have.
Actually, sir, I was thinking of Tiger Balm pain-relieving patches.
Tiger Balm, a little jar with a tiger on it?
Yeah, right. Tiger Balm. It's been around for about 100 years.
Jinkies.
And now Tiger Balm comes in these neat pain relief patches.
Could you hand me that duck there?
You just stick the patch on where it hurts. Same Tiger on the package.
Uh-huh.
And Tiger Balm's pain relief patches are very fast-acting and long-lasting, so we wouldn't have to meet in your bathroom every Monday.
And I'd be less pruny, and your report wouldn't be in the microwave.
What?
I dropped your report in the tub, so I put it in the dryer, but it caught fire, so my wife doused it with water and put it in the microwave. Let me just go grab it.
No, don't get up, sir.
Oops, sorry. Sitting back down.
Long-lasting, fast-acting, pain-relieving Tiger Balm patch. Works where it hurts.
Welcome back to Coffee and Beans.
Do you cut people off? Like is it...
Not really.
How do you...
Me-
I don't know if there's a pattern or, spot people. I don't know.
There's a little bit of a pattern. I tend to try to not have the relationship, friendship, whatever end by... I will try, I will extend, I will make allowances until I get to a point where it's just like, you know what, I've tried and this isn't working. And then I'm going to be like, okay, and I'll let go. Yeah. Especially when I feel like I literally tried everything that I could possibly try. And then like, what else is there for you to do? Just leave the situation and, find your peace.
I do want to give a shout out to any ladies or gents who, shave before going to have that closure conversation. Listen, it's totally fine. Your process is your process. I really just thought just now, I'm just like, there must be someone just feeling highly misrepresented. Listen, it takes what it takes to get to where you need to.
Truly, it does. Do what you need to do. Just make sure that it's healthy for you. Okay.
So an article I rang up said, when we seek closure, we are looking for answers as to the cause of a certain loss in order to resolve the painful feelings it has created. In doing this, we appear to form a mental puzzle of what's happened, examining each piece and its relationship to the overall puzzle. Closure is achieved when we are satisfied that the puzzle has been assembled to our satisfaction, that the answers have been reached and it is therefore possible to move on. How do you deal with a type of space where you feel like the answers haven't been given, but
which is I think 90% of the time, guys.
Do you try endeavor number 1, endeavor number 2, another caucus?
You know what? I feel like me of 2015, 2017, maybe. Me of today, maybe not. Like, especially when both parties have agreed that this is it, it's healthier to just allow that distance to sit between the two of you for however long. Because it's very rare that you get the answers that you're looking for, because sometimes even the other person doesn't know why you got to this point. Like you will analyze, you will look at the situation for as long as God knows how long it will take. Sometimes you will never get there, and in that case, does that mean that we continue to have these conversations? No. You say, okay, it has ended, can't figure out why, but you know what, it's ended, and you have to I guess come to a place where you realize that it's probably the best for the both of you, and just start working on moving on and getting over this phase. Pick out your lessons from the situation. Embrace those, be happy in the fact that you had happy moments. That was a relationship that once gave you so much joy. And just move on and have faith in the fact that you will find another.
For the sake of the people who do shave before going to work, I feel like we need to sort of include the that we did
that we were not. So I mean, we do not want to sell this to
Just
Yes,
fly. This is
yes.
brand misaligned. We must not cheat you. We are not always unorganized.
No, because listen, been there. The reason that I can say this now is because I've gone through some very special moments.
For me,
I think you were prison for one, actually.
was I really?
I think.
Friends. Friends and friends. I don't know. I'll take your lead on that.
But yeah, you.
I had a yelling match with a very close mate of mine at a festival. I met someone about last year actually. I met him in a very separate. I once met this, like, I was at a house party, like maybe pre-COVID, which is how I generalize time and space now. Are you pre-COVID or post-COVID? Because I don't know. Because COVID really is just, it's the social point. It's a big point in our timeline now. But this is pre-COVID. I remember this gentleman was dressed in green, the one I met at the club, at the house party. It was like, yeah, there were a bunch of girls, but like I remember we clicked because we were playing card games or something, nerdy stuff. And we just like vibed or something. Cut to whatever years later, I meet him. He's the neighbor to a really good His girlfriend is the neighbor to a really good friend of mine. So I'm at my friend's house. He just shows up. I'm like, hey man, I know your face. I meet his girlfriend, who has since become a pretty good mate of mine. And he says, oh yeah, I remember seeing you at this blank event. You and like someone who looks like this were like in a shouting match. And I was like,
Oh my word!
This
is not what I was hoping to tackle the day. No.
And that comes back to the thing I pray about, which is grace. Which is, I just hope my reaction ages well. And it's not even I know like what it seems to read is that he didn't rate me or something. It wasn't even like that. I try to live my life in a nice balance of appropriate behavior, but not being fueled by people's opinions.
Yeah.
Not in a rebellious sense, like what adults, comb your hair, use roll-on, it is hot.
It really is, please.
Use roll-on, like floss and like be polite, say hello. People like to think small talk is annoying. I mean, it is, but it's also just
polite. Yeah.
Hi, good morning, how are you? It's not, I don't understand, I don't know why this need for brevity has now usurped in social intelligence. Like, just be a normal person. So it's not even that I, thought he didn't rate me or whatever. My thing is just like, even the things I probably said in the heat of that. I don't think everything needs to be planned and meticulous, and we're emotional people, but I didn't like how I lost my cool and possibly said things that I had to end up apologizing for, because that's also what happened. And this is how you get set up. I'm just sorry, I'm going to now take this tangent on another thing. Is sometimes people set the games up for you.
Yeah.
You step on
you
the
fall into them
the
traps.
landmine, and then you end up now being the bad guy.
Exactly. Like you seem like the bad guy, the crazy person.
As a black man, I know Michael Jordan's of this art. I've been on.
We must exchange notes.
Imagine I've been on the side. I've been in the car where the WhatsApps are being sent, and then suddenly, I've been there. It's become a big issue, and now she's saying sorry because she messed up. Like,
when you literally egged her on in your very gaslit type version of just having a conversation.
Crazy.
Bro.
Just clock that. Try to see it. Just remember, your mother's bones broke to push you into this world.
Yeah.
And try to step into that vibe.
Exactly.
So that's my showgrounds at an event. When else? Yeah, I don't know why that one stands out, because I think also when you go out, you bath and you apply lotion for the world. You don't go out to now start having Chinese in car parks.
Right?
Yeah,
it was in a car park. Okay, I'm busy picking.
It actually was at the actual event. The car park is because I was out last night and I saw like two homies. There were two bros, and they had a whole moment that was just like,
oh, was it an all moment or like
they were great. It was emotional. You know, it's also people assume certain emotional triggers only come from, you know, like really I don't know, softer, like I don't know what the word is. I'm like Black Flower Boys. I don't know if that's a brand name.
Yeah.
Like, nah, this was screws.
This was screws.
Like, no, man, like they were like
I've seen those before.
And it was hurt. There was like hurtful things. Like they were both hurting in such a way. I was like, Yandla, where are you?
Miss Van Zandt is very far from here.
So yeah. So
okay. You know, it was in someone's house. Huh? And at a New Year's Eve thing.
Instead of counting down.
Oh, I don't even remember the countdown, hey? Oh, and another countdown.
Okay, so December 31st.
So I've had like two. It's a sketchy time for me. One was where I decided to have a conversation with the person, and the person just decided that they would gaslight the living light out of me. What did I do? You know what? Doesn't matter. And you know, things were thrown. Cupcakes were in people's faces. That was a fun time. It was a very fun time. And you know what's even more messed up? It was one of those situations that was a situation, but not yet a situation. You know, it was a situation, but not yet a relationship. Yeah, I think those ones are sometimes the hardest ones to get over, because you're kind of falling in love with the idea of it rather than the reality of the situation. I've said situation a lot.
Not to like usurp, and I'm so sorry, but like also I want to add this: sometimes you are alone on that journey, and your homeboy is like,
yes.
I'm so sorry.
And they're just like,
yeah.
Me? Yeah. What? And the problem with that sometimes is that they can even lie about it, and you know, to everyone else it'll seem like, yeah, but then I feel like a lot of times, especially if you spend a good amount of time with someone in certain situations, you know that this other person is thinking this, and this is the direction that they're going with something. And you have the time to say, hey, look, homie, this is not what I'm thinking. You know, you have the time to nip that in the bud, like legitimately. But sometimes I don't know whether we're afraid to have certain conversations, so we just like, I do die down. My G. Woo! Yeah, hey. But yes.
You want the pageantry?
Oh, out the window.
Girl. Wow.
People's faces. That was fun. That felt good though. I won't lie.
Just on the cupcake situation, currently there is a cupcake war of its own in the world. Yes, very wonderful. I'm assuming a gentleman was
assuming
cupcakes, which said best D ever.
Oh, I saw that.
Oh,
that's not the first one.
The rollout after that has been so much.
A lot of them are coming through.
No, it's just like a lot of gentlemen seem to be.
They want that.
I feel they are, and they're communicating like that in a very upside down way, because now we're auditing how many D's she's had before this said situation.
Oh wow!
Or whatever. But he's very.
Guys,
you've just thrown me back. We don't like to. I mean, maybe we don't, but this is very currently on the TL right now. But it also just. I just want to give a really warm shout out to the gent, because he's taken it in such a gracious stride. I feel like he's sort of just like hitting back at them with like wit and like.
I'm gonna go find this post again.
That's my thing. So shout out to, I've forgotten his name. I'm gonna find your ad before the show ends.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna.
This is what we're doing.
So you should do.
Okay.
So throwing cupcakes.
Throwing cupcakes.
On New Year's. This is
no, that one wasn't New Year's. That was a separate event. That was in someone's house. The New Year's one involved rocks.
This is a whole cinematic universe.
I could write, you know what? One day you will buy my memoir and everything is gonna be in it. But also, if what's her name? That woman, Gabrielle Union did not steal the title of my book, it would have been called "We're Gonna Need More Wine." But thieving. Anyway, The other one was New Year's. Funny enough, involving the same person because again, you know, when you are teetering back and forth and closure has not been had and it is not going to be had. Yes, there were substances and there were rocks thrown, but you know, that's one. And then there was another one way back when. New Year's. You know what? This one wasn't entirely my fault. I had a friend whom I had tasked with getting me a drink, right? This was like the pre-game to like the New Year's Eve thing. And this friend, in his genius, decided to get me a 500 milliliter cup. And at the time, I wasn't familiar with my alcohols, okay? I told him to make me a mix of something.
Not much has changed, but okay.
For sake. Anyway, this beloved friend of mine decided to fill this 500 milliliter cup with tequila. I did not know. So I took a sip and I'm like, this doesn't taste like anything I'm familiar with. And he's like, yeah, no, it's a mix of, I've forgotten what he said. And I was like, oh, okay.
So pure tequila?
Tequila.
Sorry, but that tastes like kerosene.
No, I don't know why. I know everyone says this, but it never tastes like kerosene to me.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. But yes. And then, you know, I'm sipping, and then my friends are like, yo, we have to go. So now I have to down my cup. This is 500 milliliters.
Oh.
I finished it. And I got in a vehicle. And I don't remember getting to the destination. And you know, yeah, phone calls were made to certain ex. And things were said.
There are things that you remember?
I don't remember much.
Do you not remember? I think I'm too blank.
No, I don't remember much. There are certain things that I remember that I choose not to share. Maybe one day, again, buy my memoir.
Do you ever find yourself, I think I remember in the episode we did about horoscopes, we talked about how Libras are, and you mentioned, I think you said you sort of noted not being a very confrontational person. Do you think that like in any way adds to that?
It might, because you know, when you're inebriated, the restraints are gone. Just like whatever comes to your head, this is what happens. And I feel like that's probably why certain situations happened, because if they, you know, happened in sobriety, wouldn't have gone that far. Except for the other one, that's cupcakes in people's face. I was very sober. I was just very angry as well.
I'm just mad because I kind of want a cupcake now.
I'm sorry.
I'm kind of feeling like a cupcake, and there's a lot
I'm
of
sorry,
cupcake
you are a cupcake.
Oh,
so, you know, you don't need a cupcake.
Yes, a cup half full.
But yes, that's. So don't feel bad if you're shaving your legs. It happens. I mean, there were no shaving of legs in either of these situations, but obviously we were not as gracious as we would have liked to be.
One day we will be.
One day. Yeah.
Interesting enough, this is actually our mid-season finale. We're gonna structure it like that. I don't know if this is like this count as closure. It's very like when this came up, like I was like, this is very punny. This is very on the nose.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we aren't parting ways. We're just taking a break.
This is true.
Yeah, we're just taking a break. Small.
We've had a lot of highlights.
Yeah.
I don't even know if we have lowlights. Do you have lowlights and highlights?
I don't have lowlights, but highlight has to be like episode 1, because first of all, that was just like, It was epic. It was so much fun. Because it was literally just a conversation. We just sat down and we said, okay, this is what's happening in the world. Let's talk about this. And like it flowed so well, and I was so happy with it. Obviously I had reservations, because when you hear yourself back, there's a feeling of like, oh my god, that's me, I sound horrible.
It's so bizarre.
I
every
know.
human being have this, because you have such a great like radio voice, I've said.
Listen,
And the
I
face
hate
for TV
listening to
also,
myself.
It's a very strange blend. Usually sometimes people have a face for radio.
No, you flatter me. But like, I hate listening to the sound of my own voice.
Bro.
I cannot. There's many things that I do vocally that I'm required to listen back to, but I can't. It's so cringe. But yeah, I feel like that was the highlight for me of this entire experience so far.
For me, I think there was the day we did an off the cuff jingle.
Oh my god, yes! Do you remember the jingle?
I don't remember like the tone, and I don't know why. The copyrights are yet. We need to get that jingle on. Also, it was really cute. We have had one guest so far, and hope to do a little bit more. But that's always, I don't know, because I think we're so collaborative in our endeavors and stuff. So I really enjoyed that, and it's been a fun trip, and I look forward to
Yes, doing more of these. A million more. Okay, a million is a lot. I don't know.
Hit us up in the comments, subscribe.
Yes, tell us what your favorite was and why. Yeah, I'd like to know. Also,
you take some closure. I feel, we are all human beings, and not everyone can be Grace Kelly in the moment. Also, I've always thought, we have these weird expectations of how we're supposed to be, and
yeah,
pressure. But look,
it's okay. Listen, the point to emotion is human. It would be weird if you didn't feel terrible, if you didn't feel the need to feel like you needed a reason for why you had found yourself in whatever position that has brought you to the end of this relationship. But it's human. And I feel like the more you embrace the fact that it is normal and it is human, the easier it becomes to deal with. Because I think when you're sitting on it and I shouldn't feel this way, I shouldn't act this way, it makes it a little more difficult because you're fighting also the things that are likely to get you through. So, yeah.
So lean on your own vibes. So it's been a wonderful show as always. We'll meet you, I don't know if next time.
Yeah, when we're talking about
whatever we'll be talking about.
Bye.